right, let's go on with that interview with Chief Jackson Lekan, Joint Security Expert. Good evening, Chief.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Let's look, first of all, it's no longer news that the Senate has thrown out the motion to rename Inec headquarters after Nwosu. They cited some reasons behind their decision. Can you pass us through those 3 or 4 reasons?
I have told you, as a person, as a nationalist, I was disappointed in the Senate, 10th Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You know, a particular senator said, late Professor Nwosu did not confess to the world the situation surrounded the June 12th election declaration. But honestly, I didn't see anybody in the world that can be so bold to confront the military the way Professor Nwosu did. He was not dealing with the democratic settings. He was dealing with military brass arts. He was dealing with the dictators that have on their table, that have in their pockets, that have around them guns. But Professor Nwosu, even when they sat down and they said that election should be cancelled, he insisted that he has fixed the date and everything. There is no way he could cancel it. He did. He was instructed that no result should be announced. But this man started the announcement. Even when they were confronting him, he still had to go to court to seek redress that there is no power, there is no court, there is no government that could stop any election or the announcement of the result. And when he was going further, what happened? These people sat at the Supreme Military Council, Armed Forces Ruling Council, as it was pronounced, and known for Donny Babangida, and instantly they dissolved the Inec, National Electoral Commission. So at that time, what do you think this man should do? This man took risk to afford the military up to that extent. If he was a collaborator, immediately the military president at that time suggested to him that he should cancel the election. Honestly, he would have cancelled the election. But he rejected that offer. He rejected that suggestion. And he stood the ground that he cannot cancel the election. At the end of the day, who was the man that announced the little we had? It was Professor Nwosu and his team. I have not seen a bolder Nigerian better than this man. How many of the senators of the Federal Republic today, that if they are in that office, would have been able to confront the military? None of them. These are the set of senators that their own is just to do the bidding of the sitting president. They couldn't even override the Mr. President. They couldn't even express their opinion and opinion of the people they are representing. They even moved as far as to change their rule or suspend their rule in order to favor the opinion and the suggestion of Mr. President, the civilian president. These are the people that instead of them to jump up and applaud that motion that suggested that it should be honored. But otherwise, they started playing politics of ethnicity. I am sorry to say this. If Nwosu was supposed to be a Yoruba man, because of the sitting president, it would have been applauded, it would have been honored. If Nwosu was to be from the northern Nigeria, it would have been applauded, it would have been offended, it would have been appreciated and compensated and honored. If the man that Nwosu decided to conduct the election, decided to announce the result of the election, is honored today and recognized as a former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the man that made it possible, despite the opposition of the military giants then, what do you think it deserves? It deserves to be honored. But this is Nigeria where we have found ourselves. This is Nigeria that the 10th Senate is acting. And I am surprised that only Senator Abaribe alone that walked out of the Senate that day. I think this, the superiority of good argument, the superiority of light over darkness should have prevailed in the Senate. Professor Nwosu deserves an honor. It deserves to be remembered. It deserves for him, for a monumental government institution to be named after him, and nothing less than even the Inec office, Inec headquarters.
Okay, let's Chief, let's go back to the Senate's proceeding.
And I'm coming. And if Mr. President, if he has interest in this matter, if Mr. President, who was then one of those people that were fighting, confronted the military, if he himself recognizes Professor Nwosu the way he did to lobby the senators in order to change their rule, in order to favor the state of emergency being declared in Rivers State, why didn't Mr. President do this? It's a shameful thing, honestly. That means there is no reward for hard working. There is no reward for somebody to have taken risk of his life and fight for a united Nigeria, for a truthful Nigeria, and fought, the man that fought for democracy. There is no way you could mention MK Abiola's victory today that you should not mention Professor Nwosu. That is it. But we are, can I say we are unfortunate to have found ourselves in this country having the worst Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria presiding over the 10th Senate. It's a shameful thing. But in the heart and mind of Nigerians, honestly, Professor Nwosu's name has been immortalized. And don't bother yourself, and Nigerians do not bother themselves. In the nearest future, some other good Nigerians will rise up without any opposition. They will immortalize this great Nigerian called Professor Nwosu.
All right, Chief. Let's return to the plenary where this matter was raised by Chief Abaribe. At the point where he brought this matter up, one of the senators asked him or accused him of not providing copies of the motion, which is a procedural issue. And that particular statement from that senator, even when Chief Abaribe already filed copies to that effect, generated heated argument and heated up the atmosphere. It looked like some persons were already waiting for someone to bring up that proposal to attack it. Don't you think?
It was not a secret thing. As a senator, if you have a motion to be presented in the Senate or House of Representatives, you need to lobby some persons, give them information at hand in order for them to second and support you. And possibly when Senator Abaribe did that, possibly the enemy of progress, the enemy of united Nigeria, the sadistic element that do not want anything good for people from some section of this country must have possibly informed those people that will be informed. And instruction would have been given on who we suggest that the beast will be killed on arrival. That was exactly what we saw that day. The idea of Senator Abaribe did not give enough document, paper to be circulated, I think is a flimsy excuse. Because if that was a cogent reason, possibly they would have said, okay, do this, bring all those papers,
for this.
circulate it well, and another legislative day, bring your motion. But for that one, it is only somebody you don't want to employ that you will say is coming to interview, because it did not come with enough credentials, enough copies of credentials that you disqualify him. That is to say, you have made up your mind that you are not going to employ such a person. If it's a person you want to listen to and employ, you will not tell him, come tomorrow, come next tomorrow, with more copies of your credentials, and you will be interviewed. That is the issue on ground. They planned themselves that they were going to sort that motion. And let me move bold to say, if Professor Nwosu was to be a Yoruba man, was to be from the northwest, north central, northeast, possibly the conspiracies against a motion to immortalize him wouldn't have been that strong. That is my submission.
All right, Chief. Let's begin to take out one after the other some of the reasons given for striking out the proposal. One came from the presiding officer who was acting in the absence of the Senate president. He said that that matter was a contentious one because there's already divided public opinion on his role on the annulment of June 12th election. In fact, we heard that he did not make the pronouncement. He did not go ahead to make the pronouncement. I know that you have alluded to that in your initial analysis when where you said that he had the dictators to contend with at the time, yet he stood his ground. But this particular point that the presiding officer raised, do you think it's valid enough to strike out the motion?
It is highly invalid. But Nigeria, all arms of government in this country, it is only when they don't want to consider something, then they will shoot it down based on technicalities. It happens in our courts of law. It happens in the executive, they say, come and bid for a contract. Please bring the come tomorrow. They didn't give you time. You get there tomorrow by 10 o'clock. They say it is too early. Because of this, go back with your proposal. Now tomorrow, they say, come, 10 o'clock. You come there, 10 minutes after 10. They will tell you, why did you come late? They throw, okay, you can no longer bid. That is the situation we are facing in this country. And I want to tell you clearly, Akpabio was very tactical. That was why Akpabio absent himself from that thing, because he, however, is still from the south. That he now gave it to another man from Kano Northwest to preside over the assembly that day, the Senate that day. It was a pre-planned issue. So let nobody deceive anybody. No stupid person across this country. It was a pre-planned something. If it's okay, look at the situation on ground now. The man that conducted the election, where a sitting president was defeated, that the whole world knew that it was a shambolic election. He had, what the name of this name, Professor
Jega.
Professor Jega. Has he not been compensated? He had been compensated. He had been given an appointment by the sitting president. After that one day they are going to immortalize his name for him to have done their bidding 2015. One day, at the expiration of tenure of Mahmoud, one day they are going to give him another appointment to compensate him. But the man that conducted the globally adjust, freest, fairest, transparent, rigless election, we are very reluctant to appreciate him, to immortalize him. If that election was symbolic, like the one that had been conducted after that time, there is no power in this country. There would have been no suggestion to have declared. If Professor Nwosu did the bidding and cancelled the election, Babangida wouldn't have been able to come out to affirm that yes, he won the election. He won the election, not through a yea and nay. He won the election because of the result that was in Babangida's book. Who provided that result? Who produced that result? If Professor Nwosu has agreed that the election should be cancelled, that wouldn't have been conducted, would there be any reason, any time in life, that somebody would have been able to be declared as the winner of our election that was not conducted? I wouldn't want to insult people, but I want to tell you there are some things that if you are not very calculative, there are some things you could do and the whole world will know that you did it out of jealousy, out of envy, out of bad-mindedness. This is exactly what has been done now. And I want to tell you clearly, if the person that we recognize as one of the most powerful, most influential Democrat of that time, God brought him to become president of Nigeria today, I think he should have been able to talk to the National Assembly that, come, do fast, and let me sign that bill to law. That is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
All right, Chief, I hope you're still there. If you can hear me, let's move on. There are other issues. One of the senators, actually, during the plenary said that what should be rewarded is result and not efforts. I don't know what your position on that is.
What? Come again.
That what should be rewarded is results and not effort. That he made effort, he conducted a good election, and but could not pronounce the winner. He could not announce who the winner was. That what should be rewarded is result and not effort.
It was not just an effort. The effort produced the result that is embedded in Babangida's book today. The effort produced the result that made General Muhammadu Buhari to have declared NK Abiola the winner of June 12th. The effort produced the result that was studied across the globe that made the result of that election recognized across the globe. The result produced, the effort produced the result that made the whole Nigerians stood their ground that NK Abiola was the winner. So it was not ordinary effort. Like I've told you, go back to history. When he insisted and he went to court that he must announce that result, what happened? The Armed Forces Ruling Council, being presided over by General Ibrahim Babangida, quickly called an emergency meeting, and the Inec was dissolved. And after the dissolution of the Inec, some foolish people still believe that Nwosu should go and announce the result. Most of the people, they have lost sense of history. That they did not know that the only tool Babangida was able to use to stop Nwosu from that announcement was the dissolution of National Electoral Commission that time. And after the dissolution, what do you expect Nwosu to do? Somebody give you an accommodation, and that person come to that your accommodation. He brought it down, and some people still say, oh, you can still live there with your family. When the structure has been brought down to rubble, that was exactly what happened. So those people, they are just working on flimsy excuses, born out of hatred. That is it. No human being would have been able to announce that result. See the what they call it, Armed Forces Ruling Council, presided over by General Ibrahim Babangida, because he has seen it clearly that without this dissolution, Nwosu was going to one way or the other announce that result and dissolve it. What else do you want Nwosu to do? To go and announce result, base the result when the Inec was already made an outlawed institution. a lot of people are not sympathetic with the truth.
Okay, so at that point,
so callous.
At that point, there won't be any moral backing. He would just be speaking like an ordinary person. He wouldn't have authority backing whatever pronouncement he made thereafter. Moving on, Chief, do you think that immortalizing Professor Humphrey Nwosu would undermine the memory of MKO Abiola, who was allegedly the winner of that June 12th election?
See, if my wife is pregnant, if I impregnate my wife now, and eventually we run out to a clinic during labor, and some people are saying no, she should not be allowed to deliver. And a particular hospital, a doctor accepted that no matter what will happen, that my wife should deliver that baby. If my wife deliver that baby, whatever you do to that baby, there is no time I will not appreciate that doctor and the hospital. It's a simple analysis. There is no way, there wouldn't be any reason if there is no result at all that shows, that proved, that the whole work was acknowledged, that Abiola won that election. If Humphrey Nwosu received the report and turn it, there wouldn't be any reason for anybody to, it would have been illegal, null and void, for anybody to rise up in this country today and call Abiola the winner of that result. That is it. Look at what happened what happened when Jonathan was leaving office. We still have 3 more states to be announced. But Jonathan looked at it. He said, even if they announce these 3 more states, with what is on ground, Muhammadu Buhari won this election, and he congratulated him. So, with the number of results collected, that the Inec has the figure, and it was made known to the public. If he had joined the military to scuttle and to destroy the report of that election, nobody would have been able to stand up today and call MK Abiola the winner of that election. It's only our people are so callous. We call ourselves a united Nigeria, whereas we are not united. That is it. There are some forces, anti-June 12 forces. Most of them are still in the National Assembly. And they don't want anything credit to June 12th election. They were not so powerful during Muhammadu Buhari. That was why Muhammadu Buhari, if you have this type of 10 Senate, these people would have stood against Buhari, and then Abiola wouldn't have been recognized the way he was recognized by the government of Muhammadu Buhari. Our people are just so, they are enemy of truth. They are anti-progressive elements. Some of them are so callous, shameless, truthless. That is
right,
what
Chief.
happened.
Let's even look.
Humphrey what you deserve. Can I tell you something? Even if the name Aso Rock after Humphrey Nwosu, it deserves it.
Save Nature TV. News in your pocket.